Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio, and that voice is a little bit croaky today. But we've got some new secret rare cards to look at, so what are we going to do? Not look at them? That doesn't sound right. Shout out to the lovely Primal Lugia over at PokeGuardian.com. And let's start off with the Pokemon V, shall we? And we might as well start off with the ones that get hyper rares. There are a few of them. Starting up, well, it's basically the V Maxes, alright? So starting off with the V Maxes, let's start off with my favourite, Copperajah V Max. Now the way it works at the moment is that V Maxes only get rainbows, they don't get full arts, at least not in this set. So what we see with Copperajah V Max is this beautiful rainbow rare. Now Copperajah V Max I'm a pretty big fan of. It does for free energy 200 damage against a basic Pokemon, or just 4 energy 240. Honestly, my favourite thing about Copperajah V Max is Copperajah V, that does for free energy 90 damage and reduces damage done to it the following turn by 30. Time you add in a Metal Frying Pan and a Lucario and Melmetal, you are into a pretty gosh darn tanky deck, and a Pokemon that's going to be sitting around for quite a while. We're also getting a lovely Rainbow Rare V Max of Dragapult. Dragapult's another kind of fun card. What it does, for 1 Psychic Energy, 60 damage, not affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. 2 Psychic Energy, 130 damage, put 5 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon in any way that you like. It's fine. It's not a powerhouse card. It's one that's going to see play. It's going to see success. It's going to see some love. I don't think it's going to become the very best card in the format, but I do think it's one that's pretty fun and we should be taking pretty seriously. We're also getting a Rainbow Rare version of Malamar V Max. Now Malamar V Max I do think is one that has a huge amount of potential. It's only got 1 attack, but 2 darkness, 1 colourless energy, 180 damage, look at your opponent's hand, find a card, and put it on the bottom of their deck. And as far as I'm concerned, when you combine this with Reset Stamp, it basically becomes one of the best comeback cards we've got. Because if your opponent's got 1 or 2 prizes remaining, you put them down to 1 or 2 cards in their hand, and then you just start hitting them for 180. Except, while you're hitting them for 180, you are taking a card from their hand and putting it on the bottom of their deck. And this is going to add up pretty gosh darned quickly. Honestly, you're getting to the point here where, unless they top deck something good, you basically win the game. I love Malamar as a comeback card. I should mention at this stage, I've done videos on all of these cards. I'll pop links to them in the description. And the final one we're getting here is Toxicroak V Max. Now, this is another one that's got quite a bit of potential. Again, only 1 attack, 2 lightning, 1 colourless, 160. If your opponent's active is poisoned, you do 80 more damage. Well, we've got the Toxicroak from Sword and Shield. That means poison Pokemon take an extra 2 damage counters between turns. And we've got the Garbodor, which is coming in this same set, which has just got an ability letting you poison your opponent's active if there is a stadium in play, which nowadays there almost certainly will be. And we've got a huge amount of potential here. So the VMAXs get rainbow rares, but not to be outdone, the Vs do get themselves, well, they get themselves full arts. Eldegoss probably being the main one for most people. This is the one that's got the rather redonkulous ability whereby, well, it's Versus Seeker, right? It's literally Versus Seeker as an ability. When you play it from your hand onto your bench, you get to search your discard pile for a supporter card and put it straight into your hand. No, I don't think it's on the same level as stuff like Dedenne, Shaman and Tapu Lele, but yes, I absolutely do think it's a very good card that's going to see a fair amount of play. For me, personally, it's all about Phalanx V. I adore Phalanx V. Now, you can see the full art on the screen. Firstly, it looks adorable, and you actually see them all split up rather than just having a leader and all the ones following him. But it's got the ability that says that all of your Pokemon with Phalanx in their name take 20 less damage from attacks. Now, free energy 210 is actually pretty gosh darn good, But let's not forget we've got the other Phalanx, the non-V, that for 2 colourless energy does 30 damage for each of your Pokemon with Phalanx in the name. So if you've got 4 of the V and 2 of the non-V, all of a sudden you're taking 80 less damage from attacks while doing 150 damage. It's 30 times the bench Pokemon for just a twin energy. Tell me that doesn't sound a little bit fun, ladies and gentlemen. That sounds like the kind of card that it genuinely excites me. I think this could be a really, really good card. Maybe I'll end up being wrong. I'm willing to admit that if I am, but I think there is a lot of potential here. We also see Ninetales V, which comes in with a really nice attack, 1 fire, 2 colourless energy, and you just get to copy one of your opponent's attacks. That is going to work in a whole bunch of fire decks. 4 energy, 180, discard an energy I don't like quite as much. Now, Milotic, I genuinely believe, may be the best partner we've got for Frostmoth right now. Milotic's got a lovely attack that does 10 damage base, plus 50 more for each colourless energy in your opponent's retreat cost. Bearing in mind we got Absol that increases basic Pokemon's retreat costs by 1. And in this same set we're getting Galamine, which increases the retreat cost of all Pokemon by 2 energy. We can be building up, and except for a couple of V Maxes, which are technically evolved Pokemon, you're basically one-hit KOing anything here. This is really good. 150 plus sleep for 4 energy, I'm less excited by. We're getting ourselves a Toxicroak V. It's the better of the two. 1 lightning energy, 20 damage plus poison. It's alright for 1 energy, especially turn 1, but it's not hideously exciting. 3 energy, 90 damage plus 180 with poison, again, isn't hideously exciting. Toxicity is really one you play for the V Max, but it's still nice to have this V, and I still think it's better than the other one, so in that regard, yay. We're getting Dragapult V, which is a very nice one. 1 psychic energy, 30 damage isn't particularly good, but it will actually get a 1-hit KO on Mew, which does see a fair amount of play, so maybe you get lucky. And then 2 psychic energy, 60 damage. If it became active this turn, 80 more. 140 for 2 energy. It's not bad, ladies and gentlemen. It's not too bad. We're also getting a Malamar V. Now, Malamar V is another one which we're basically playing for the V Max, if I'm honest with you. 2 energy, switch one of your opponent's bench with their active and do 30 to the new one. You might get the odd cheeky KO, but it's very unlikely. 3 energy, 130 plus confusion, again, is fairly underwhelming. Doesn't mean it's bad, but we're playing this to VMAX it. And then we've got the aforementioned Copperaja V. Now, I talked about this. I love the attack. I think when you combine this with Metal Frying Pan and Lucario and Melmetal, and you're doing 90 damage while reducing damage done to you by 90 while having no weakness, you are really onto a winner here. 4 energy, 180 is fine. For me, it's all about Phalanx and Copperaja. They're the ones that make me happy. Now, we do have a couple of supporters, and these are actually getting the full art and rainbow rare treatment. So we are getting full art and rainbow rare of Oleanna. It's fine. Discard 2 cards from your hand, look at your opponent's hand, and put a trainer card on the bottom of their deck. It's alright, it's nice hand disruption, it'll see a bit of play here or there, but it's not perfect. However, boss's orders, yeah, this one's going to be ridiculous. You see, it's Lysander. It's literally Lysander. You swap your opponent's active with one of their bench. This is going to be huge. It's going to see play in basically every deck. Then you figure in you've got the full art and the rainbow rare. This is going to be one of the money cards from this set. Now, we've looked at the Vs and we've looked at the V Max and we've looked at the supporters. We do expect a couple of gold cards as well. And we're following the same pattern we saw in Sword and Shield 1. We have got ourselves a couple of items and a old Pokemon. So we're getting a golden version of Tool Scrapper. Tool Scrapper's huge. It allows us to remove tools from ourselves or our opponent. And look, I know that it's not terribly exciting and it's a reprint of an old card. No one cares. Because at the moment, tools are running rampant. And this will stop tools running rampant. It's huge. this is going to be a great card. As for Scoop Up Net is new, and I adore Scoop Up Net. You pick up one of your non-EX, non-GX Pokemon, discarding all cards attached to it. Use it as a switch. Use it to heal a Pokemon. Use it to reuse a coming into play ability, something like Mewtwo from Unbroken Bonds, if you don't want to play Eldegoss. So many uses for this, it's kind of ridiculously awesome. And then we're getting a golden version of Galarian Berserker. Just like we saw in the previous set, we've got a Pokemon from a previous set coming in as a gold Pokemon here. Galarian Berserker is a great card that means your metal Pokemon do an extra 20 damage. Sees very little play in the UK, US, Europe, etc. at the moment. We'll see a lot more play when the new Galarian Meowth comes out. Because the new Galarian Meowth has got a kind of ridiculous ability that lets you discard 2 cards from your hand and then evolve it. Which means you can play an all-basic deck, only play cards like Quick Ball to search out your basics, but then also get this evolution up and rolling. Yeah, make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to see some play. We just need the new Meowth. This is a nice one. These are all pretty nice cards. We might be a little bit sad about the lack of full arts in terms of the V Maxes, but there's a full art Phalanx. I'm pretty cool with that, ladies and gentlemen. That seems good to me. Shout out again to the lovely Primal Lugia for hooking us up with the images. Lovely person, extremely helpful. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to know what you think about these, and I want to know which ones are your favourites. Which ones are you looking to pull? So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are awesome. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.